Hey guys, so earlier I sent out an email with the close on it. And a lot of you guys have probably read it by now thinking, what the heck is this? So I'm going to kind of break it down. I'm going to probably cut this into two videos. This one's going to be just breaking it down, what it is, how to go through it, and then I'll make a separate video where I actually go through and explain it. One of the things I'm going to be getting you guys is rollout sheets. So when we present price, we're going to start presenting them on this so that we can work through our discounts on paper. And I'll kind of explain that how that works for you. So when we look at the close that I sent out, it's a 12-step close. So it is a learning process. It's a close though that's designed for one call closing. It is designed to be able to get the order while we're in the home. And I'm just going to go through it and kind of break down the components of it, all right? So we've got the pre-close, the drum roll, the list price, two types of customers, finance, paid in full, opinion of the price, three-tier bump, which is hoping, expecting, and most people, add, subtract, multiply, and divide, senior and military discount, and that's where we're going to give them a price that's good for 30 days. An immediate order discount. This is going to be for them to move forward and go ahead and make a purchase today. That's also where we'll get our first objection because it's going to be the first time that we've asked somebody to buy something. LARIC, that's an acronym. It stands for listen, acknowledge, restate, isolate, and then close. And it's a circle close because we want to funnel the objection back to price. Price is the only thing that we can control. A flexible installation discount, and then a commercial discount or a phone drop. I want to get you guys calling me from every home and teaching you guys how to set up a successful phone call for a TO call. Basically, it's a higher authority close. So the pre-close, when we've gone through, we've done an inspection, and we've done a masterful presentation. And I'm working on the presentation. I'm hoping to have that out by Friday, at the very latest by Monday, because I want it in you guys' hands and I want you learning it. So when you think about it, the whole reason people called us out was just for a free roof inspection or a free estimate. It's really all they called us out for. So after we've done an inspection and we've determined, yeah, you've got some pretty serious issues that need to be addressed. We've done a masterful presentation. We've explained why we're the best, why you wouldn't want to do business with anybody other than us. We're going to say, hey, John, hey, Mary, we can agree this is definitely a project you're going to get done. If not now, sometime in the very near future, correct? Yeah, we're going to get it done. Great. Since it's not a matter of if you're going to do it, but when. If I can show you a way to save a lot of money, possibly work out a price or payment that fits into your budget, is there any reason other than the price or payment you wouldn't consider it while I'm here? Most people are going to say, no, it just comes down to price. Now, you might get some resistance here. You might get some people that say, hey, no, we're not buying anything, buddy. We just want a free quote. To which we're going to say, hey, no problem. We've spent a lot of time together. Will you at least do me a personal favor? Will you at least keep an open mind to a fair business proposition? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say yes. So drum roll. So the drum roll is basically, you guys send this sheet out in the packet that goes out to the customers, and it's just going to recap everything that we do. So we're going to come out, we're going to remove any outdoor furniture or decorations from around the home for protection. We're going to tarp off the yard and shrubbery. Again, we want to make sure that all of your things are protected. We're going to remove and dispose of the existing shingles. We're going to inspect the roof decking and ensure structural integrity and a solid nailing surface. We're going to make sure that it's all up to code. We're going to remove and replace the aluminum metal around the perimeter of the roofing system, also to code. We're going to install new synthetic roof underlayment and installation of that ice and water shield in the valleys. We're going to install starter strips on all of the eaves and rakes. That's going to give you that increased wind rating and just ensure that level of protection and warranty. We're going to do the installation of the new shingles. We're going to install apron flashing as needed. We're going to install step flashing as needed. We're going to flash around the chimneys if needed. We're going to install the new vent pipe boots and new flashing for all the boots. We're going to spray paint PVC pipes to match the shingles. We're going to protect it and we're going to seal it. We're going to install shingles over the ridge vent. We will be installing a ridge vent if you don't have one. If you do have one, we're actually going to install a new one and make sure that it is to manufacturer specifications. Installation of the hip and ridge cap shingles. We're going to clean everything up, all the debris. We're going to go around with a magnet and make sure that we get everything out. The whole thing comes out to just $26,584 list price. And that's going to be the price that you have on your proposal. Me and Brad spoke about this. We don't want to be the type of company that just opens up sky high. You tend to lose credibility when you do that. You know, Erie Construction does that. Power Remodeling does that. Whereas we are going to a one-call close methodology. We don't want to put ourselves in that type of category. You know, we still want to maintain the integrity of this company and what Brad and Jerry stand for. So we've decided that we're gonna roll out at about a 65% margin. And what we want to do is try and sell it around a 50% margin. We're plenty profitable. You guys still make a lot of money at 50%. We can advertise, you know, a 15% discount, and just get those people to call, because now we're going to be introducing a sale price. You know, we're running a sale. It's 15% off. So when we roll out that list price, $26,584, we want to associate a monthly payment with it. Anytime we give a price, we want to give a payment. So the way we're going to do that is on that initial payment, we're going to want to do about a 2% payment. So if you take $26,584 times 0.02, it gives you a monthly payment of $531 a month. So as we're going through this, we have now done our pre-close, drum roll, list price. Next is two types of customers. We want to find out how they're paying for it, and we want to do that early on. So when I say, hey, the whole thing comes out to just $26,584, or a monthly payment of $531 a month. Now, we have found that when it comes to doing projects like this, we have a couple types of customers. We have folks that would just pay everything off in one lump sum with a cash, check, or credit card, or folks that would be more interested in a monthly payment. When it does come time to doing this project, what type of customer would you be? Is this something that you guys would just swing a check at, or is this something that you'd be looking at a monthly payment on? Some people are going to say, hey, yeah, this is something we're just going to pay outright. Others are going to say, no, we'd be more interested in a monthly payment. When you have a cash buyer, we're going to go on to the next phase, which is opinion of the price. I'm going to explain that in a minute. But when you have a payment buyer, well, now we want to focus in on the payment itself. All right, so how does $531 a month fit into your budget? It doesn't. Okay, well, let me ask you, whether you went with us or anybody else, how much too much is $531 a month? They might respond, I don't really know. We really hadn't thought about it. These are common things you're going to get from people. You say, I understand that, but when it does come time to having to get this done and taking on a monthly payment, I'm just trying to establish what would be comfortable for you. So 531 is too much. I'm going to X that out. How much too much is it? Is it $100 too much? Is it $200 too much? Is it $531 too much? How much too much would you say that payment is? Jason's probably about $200 too much. Okay, so if this was closer to $331 a month, then it starts to look more affordable to you? Yes. Okay, now let me ask you, what is your overall opinion of the price? This is an important thing to ask customers. And the reason I say that is because they'll tell you. And now we're having a conversation about that price. I haven't asked them to buy anything, so they can be honest with me. That's a lot more than what we were expecting. Okay. Before we came out today, what were you kind of hoping something like this was going to run? This is where we're going to start going into our add, subtract, multiply, and divide. Hoping, expecting, and most people. Before we came out here today, what were you kind of hoping something like this might run? Oh, we really thought this was going to be closer to $16,000, $17,000. Okay, I can appreciate that. And how'd you come up with that number? Just kind of looking around online and just trying to, that's just kind of what we thought it was going to be. Okay. And it's not uncommon for people, when we come out to have a low expectation like that. Certainly you have a lot of roofers going door to door trying to do insurance claims and get the cheapest thing down there where it doesn't cost much. But after seeing, the cost versus value report that says the average cost to do a roof in Atlanta is $25,000, after seeing, that we're a licensed company, that we're certified through the manufacturer, and knowing that we're going to do everything the right way, the fact that we're not going to just use some generic wax paper from Home Depot, that we're actually going to put that ice and water protection in the eaves and the valleys, and that we're going to put that waterproof barrier down throughout the entire house, and we're going to put in an upgraded architectural shingle that's going to have a 50-year warranty. Can you see how this might have been a little bit more than what you were expecting? Well, yeah, we could see that, maybe what, 25, 30% more. Yeah, I guess so. That's the thing. Most people, when they see everything that we're going to do, the level of protection we're putting into your roof and the way we're going to stand behind everything, and you're not just protected by us, but because we are a certified company through the manufacturer, you're protected by the manufacturer. Most people actually expect something like this to be around $26,000. That's the thing. Let me ask you, putting price aside, what did you love about everything we showed you today? This is where we're going to start going into our add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So we want to put price aside. We want to add up everything they loved about the project. I love the fact that we're going to get a 50-year warranty. I love the fact that we're not going to have streaking in the roof because of the algae protection. Whatever they tell you, we want to add to it. And I always want to hit on the fact that we're licensed and the fact that we are certified. Yeah, and people tell us all the time they love the fact that we're actually a licensed company. We're not just some yokel that's going to come throw junk on their roof. That we protect the value of the home. People love the fact that we're certified through the manufacturer. So you've got two levels of protection there. You've got the protection that we offer as a company, and then you've got the protection of the actual manufacturer because we're certified through them. And that's the thing, there's a lot of ways we could make this project less expensive. We do use that ice and water protection in the eaves. I mean, we could take that right off. It's going to decrease the longevity of the roof. You're certainly not going to get the protection qualities out of it, but you wouldn't want to cheapen the project like that, would you? No. And putting down that waterproof barrier throughout the whole home so that you're protected from wind and rain. When wind starts blowing that rain sideways and that rain gets up in between those shingles, your roof is protected. We could put in that wax paper, but you wouldn't want to cheapen the project like that, would you? Well, no. And then there's the intangibles that you can't put a price on. Like peace of mind. Knowing that when you get this roof installed, you're not going to have to worry about this roof again for another 50 years. Knowing that this roof is going to look beautiful it's got 30-year protection just on the algae alone. So those the streaks and things like that, you're not going to have to worry about that. But we're really not that far apart. How much did you say you thought this was going to be again? About 18. Okay. So if we take 26,584, and you want to do this on a calculator with them, or even get them to do it, take away $18,000 That gives us a difference of 85.84. Now, if we take that and let's just divide that across the next 20 years that you live in your home, it's a difference of $429. And then if we divide that against 12 months and 20 years, puts us down to $35. And if we take that into the next 30 days in a month, it gives us $1.19. Do you know what that number represents? That's the difference between what you thought this project was going to be and what it actually is to get the level of protection that we're willing to offer you. Now, I'm sure you're not saying that our roof and our service isn't worth an extra $1.19 a day, are you? No. And that's the thing. You know, that $26,584, that price is good for 1 calendar year. And you can call us back at any point in time, and we'll be more than happy to honor that. Now, let me ask you, has anybody in the home reached the age of 55 yet? Yeah, we've got a senior. Anybody in the home ever served in the military, armed forces, first responder, EMT, doctor, nurse, teacher, educator? Yeah, we military. All right, well, thank you. We appreciate your service. We do offer a senior and military discount, and that's going to be 5% off times 0.05, and that's going to take off an additional $1,329. Brings the total cost down to just $25,255. And I can actually work that out to a monthly payment of just $334 a month. Now, when you guys actually sit down and go over this, when do you think you'd be able to let me know something? Today, tomorrow, next couple of days? I'll word it like that because I still haven't asked them to buy anything. But if they're going to think about it, I want them to give me a time frame to get back to me on. And when I say, when do you think you'd be able to let me know something? Today, tomorrow, next couple of days? They're usually going to respond with next couple of days. If I were to say, you think you'd be able to let me know in the next couple of weeks? They would respond with the next couple of weeks. So we want to bring that time frame in. So when they say, yeah, we could probably let you know something in the next couple of days. Okay, wow, so soon. So you guys are really serious about getting this done then. Oh yeah, it's definitely something we got to get done. You know, and that's the thing, because when we do have somebody that is motivated to get this done, we are also motivated. You know, here's the thing. We would love to earn your business in 30 days. We would love to earn your business in a year. Unfortunately, businesses do not stay in business based off a business that they might get one day. So when we do have somebody such as yourself that is motivated to get it done, right now we are running 10% off for an immediate order. 25,255 times 0.1. That's going to take off an additional $2,525. 25,255 take away 25,25 puts this whole project at $22,730. Gives you a monthly payment of just $300 a month, and all I need is your driver's license. Now, a lot of people are going to buy right here. And done properly, this is going to have you right above that 50% margin. But this is going to draw out two types of people. My favorite is if we're running 15% off, and we have given a 5% off discount for senior and military. We've given 10% off for an immediate order, but it's not a true 15% off because we discounted the initial number 5%, and then we discounted that number 10%, you're going to have people out there that catch that. And they're going to go, well, that's not a true 15% off. Most people are not going to catch this. The guy that does, that is a buying signal. That right there is a buying signal. And the way I handle that is I go, no, I mean, that's just the way we break it down. That's why we give you 5% for military and then 10% for an immediate order. I will tell you what, though, if this is something that you are serious about getting done, I'll go ahead and give you that full just 15% off. That's going to take $39.87 off that price. $26,584, take away $39.87, puts it at $22. I messed up my math somewhere. But give them that price, and it'll bring it down. The other one you're going to get, though, this is the first time where we've asked somebody to buy something. So this is where you're going to get your first objection. This is where people are going to go, well, I got to think about it. Now, in in-home sales, when we do things correctly, we've done a proper warm-up, we've done a proper inspection, we've done a masterful presentation, there's really only 4 objections you should get. Think about it, too much money, shop around, or first to 3, or it's a one-leg scenario where they've got to talk to somebody else. The way I'm going to design the presentation when we get this out to you guys, it's going to eliminate the vast majority of shop around. You're still going to get that, but if that's a objection you're getting a lot, is that you're the first to 3, or we've got to get other quotes. The presentation's going to be designed to kind of start killing that off to where you're going to get less and less of that. What you really should just be getting is it's too much money, or they have to think about it. Now, when people say I got to think about it, a very natural response is for us to look at them and go, well, what do you got to think about? And when you do that, you are opening Pandora's box. You are opening yourself up to objections that you just cannot overcome, because if somebody looks at you and says, well, my grandmother just died and we're having her funeral in 2 weeks, and right now we're all focused on that and we've got to get through that, and then right after that my daughter's getting married and I'm about to have to drop $20,000 on this stupid wedding, that's not an objection you can overcome. So we don't want to give them that, because regardless of anything going on, they called us out for a roof. So when somebody says, I got to think about it, we're going to go into lyric. Listen, acknowledge, restate, isolate, close. So listen, you got to think about it. I'm going to acknowledge it. I can appreciate that. We want to acknowledge it with an empathy statement, not a sympathy statement. So empathy, I can appreciate that. Sympathy, yeah, I know what you're saying. I'd have to think about it too. So an empathy statement, I can appreciate that. Says, I heard you. Don't necessarily believe you, but I heard you. You got to think about it. So I can appreciate that. How long do you think you'd need to think about it? Typically they're going to respond, and it doesn't matter what their response is. It doesn't matter if they say a day or 2, a week or 2, a month. It does not matter. How long do you think you'd need to think about it? A couple days. Okay, great. So this is still definitely something you're serious about getting done then. Yeah, we definitely have to get it done. Great, because when people tell me they need to think about it, there's really only a few things you're going to be thinking about. And the first one is this even a project you're going to do? Because, let's face it, if it's not even a project you're going to do, we're wasting each other's time, right? The second thing people might be thinking about, when it does come time to pull in the trigger on this, are we a company you would trust to do this project? After seeing, the fact that we're a licensed company, the fact that we're a certified company, the fact that we're going to do everything the right way, and we run a 5-star rating on Google, are you going to be thinking about whether or not we're the right company to do this job? No? We like the company. Okay. The other thing you might be thinking about is, the overall product itself. You guys said you love this particular shingle, you love that color. Are you going to be thinking about whether or not you can find a better shingle? No, we love the shingles. Okay. Could be thinking about the warranties. When it comes down to it, after seeing, we're going to give you a 50-year warranty on the roof, a 30-year warranty on the algae, the installation warranty, you're going to be thinking about whether or not you could have gotten a better warranty. No, I mean, we like the warranties. Guys, and I hope it's not me. I hope you don't feel like you could have gotten a better sales rep out here. No, you're great. We like you. Okay, so I mean, it's definitely a project that you're going to do. We're a company that you would trust and feel comfortable doing business with. It's the product and the warranties that you're looking for. Heck, you even kind of like me. It sounds like really the only thing you're going to be thinking about is just the overall cost. Is that right? Yeah, it's still just a little bit more than what we were expecting. Okay. And this is where we're going to go into, but what we've done now is we have isolated and turned it back into just a price objection. So now we're going to go into more of like a flexible installation discount, or a even a commercial discount. The thing about it is anytime we discount the price, we have to be able to give a true justification for why we are able to do that. And this is where a lot of reps mess up, is they just start, well, let me give you a discount for this, a discount for that. If the discount's not believable, then your customer's not going to care. So I like a flex install, just because we have issues with weather, things like that. But the way this works is when they say we just got to think about it, I always kind of sit back. Okay, I can appreciate that. You know what? Let me just see something real quick. I'm using my phone to record, so I can't grab it. But I typically will grab my phone in front of the customer, and I'll just start messing with it. I could be checking email. I could be checking Facebook. It doesn't matter. But I just want to look like, let me just check something here. There might be a way I can save you guys some additional money. Nope, I'm wrong. I thought there was. Nope. Oh wait, I do have one. I do have one. Okay. So there is a way I could probably save you guys some more money. Now, it's going to take a little bit on your part and would take a little bit on my part too. And it's what we call our flexible installation program. Now, let me explain the parameters of how this works and see if it's something that would even work for you. With a flexible install, what it means is literally we could be here in as late as 4 weeks, or we could be here tomorrow. Now, if it meant saving a lot of money, would you be able to be flexible with us? Like at the drop of the hat, we could call you and just say, hey, we're coming out tomorrow. Is that something you could do if it meant saving money? Yeah, I work from home. I could probably do that. Okay. So the way this works, and here's the thing, we only get 2 or 3 of these a quarter. That's why I wanted to look and see. We did just have one come available. So somebody's going to take it. So I'm going to offer it to you. And the way this works is, let's see if I can get this where y'all can see it. These lines right here represent appointments that we are running today. Now, today is June 25th. So we guarantee that no matter what, by July 25th, we will get you installed. So definitely within the next 4 weeks, we will get somebody out here to get you installed. Now, as we run these appointments and people purchase from us, they go into line for installation. About to run out of ink. And they move on through, so they've gotten in line, we're waiting on their material to come in, and they're ready to install. Inevitably, what happens is the day before someone's supposed to go in, Miss Jones will give me a call and she'll say, hey Jason, we got COVID. We don't want anyone coming out. Or, we had a death in the family, or my husband went to the hospital. And these are all things that are just outside the scope of normal control, and it creates a 2-part problem for us. The first problem is it creates an opening in our installation schedule, and we lose a lot of money when we have a void in the installation schedule, because our crews, they don't get paid to sit around the warehouse and play cards. We've got to keep them busy. The second problem that it creates is, well, what do we do with Miss Jones? She's already been waiting to get installed. It's not fair for us to say, oh, well, we're going to send you all the way back to the end of the line. So we've looked at many ways to try and solve this problem. We can call other customers and see if we can get them to move forward, but no matter what we do, it keeps a gap. So what we do is we look for the customers that have agreed to be flexible. And what we can do is we look in line, we say, okay, you're right here. You've moved forward. We're going to give you a call. Again, because Miss Jones isn't able to give me a lot of notice, I'm not able to give you a lot of notice. So I would call you and say, hey, we have an opening. We're coming out tomorrow to install your roof. And what we would do is we would take Miss Jones, we move her back into your installation spot. We move you forward into Miss Jones's installation spot. It keeps Miss Jones from having to go to the back of the line, and it keeps our installation schedule moving. Because this creates us from having a void, I'm able to back charge the company some of the labor on the job. Now, again, I'm not able to give you a lot of notice, and because I only get a few of these a quarter, what I'm about to offer you, if this is something that makes sense to you and it's something that you can do, please just say, hey, yes, Jason, we can take advantage of that. If it's something that doesn't make sense to you, say, hey, I appreciate it. Unfortunately, we can't do it. I promise you, I can take a no just as graciously as I can take a yes. I just can't take a maybe. Fair enough? Great. Because with this, the 22,730, I would actually be able to back charge the company $1,800 for the installation. That's going to bring this total project down to $2,930. Gives you a monthly payment of $276 a month. Now, with an additional savings of $1,800 on a project that you're gonna do anyway, can you see a better time than now to get this started? No. Hey, welcome to Capital City Roofing. That's what we're hoping for right there, and a lot of times it's going to happen. What I love about the way I phrased that, right? With an additional savings of $1,800 on a project that you're going to get done anyway, can you see a better time than now to get it done? No. Customers are already poised to say no. They want to tell us no. Well, they get to say no, but now no means yes. So we're going to catch a lot of people right there. And at this point, you should be still right around a 45% margin. Now, and you can figure out your margins. You can offer them $1,800. If you don't think $1,800 is going to be enough, you could go $2,000. You still have a lot of room to work through before you get down to that 30% margin. Now, you're going to have some customers, though, that go, yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. That's a lot closer to what we thought it was going to be, but I mean, it's still just more than what we feel comfortable with. And at this point, I want you to kind of start packing up, okay? I want you to look defeated and be like, hey, I appreciate it. I mean, I've done everything that I can. I'm going to take them back and be like, that $25,255, I mean, that price is good for 30 days, so that one does stand. Let me just call my manager real quick and just see if there's anything that he can do. And don't ask if you can call. Tell him you're calling me. Because if you ask people, they're going to stop you. They're going to go, no, you don't need to call anybody. Just pick up the phone and call. What I want you to do, though, is I want you to have already figured out what your 30% margin is. Send me a text, 30%, whatever that number is. That's all I need. So when you call me and I answer the phone, And guys, you can put me on speakerphone. I just assume that when somebody calls me, I'm on speakerphone. I'm extremely comfortable with that. And it's more credible and more believable for the customer. So when you call me up and I answer the phone, hey, how's it going? Hey, Jason, I'm here with Miss Jones, Mr. and Miss Jones. We are looking at doing whatever roof. What I want you to do is I want you to go back through the issues that they're having. They've got leaks in the roof, they've got nail pops, they've got wind damage, whatever it is. List back off and remind them that they have issues with the roof. We're looking at doing X roofing. They really love the shingle. They love the fact that we're licensed. They love the fact that we're certified. They love the fact that we're going to put the ice and water in all the eaves and the valleys. They love the fact that we're putting down the waterproof barrier. They love the shingles. It's a project that they really want to get done, but it's just more than they thought it was going to be. The retail price on this is $26,584. We do have a senior in the military, so I gave him the 5% off. That took off $13.29, brought it down to $25,255, and I gave him that price. It's good for 30 days. Again, we're going to reiterate a price that's good for 30 days. I did offer him the 10% off for an immediate order, brought it down to $22,730. They are going to be paying with a monthly payment. Originally they had told me $331 a month was affordable. And that got them a monthly payment of $300 a month, but it's still just more than what they had anticipated on paying. I did go over the flexible installation program. I did see that we had one available, so I did offer that to them, and it is something that they said they could do. With the flexible installation program, that got me down to $20,930. Gives them a monthly payment of $276 a month. It is something that they definitely want to get done, but at this point, I'm kind of out of bullets here, and I was just going to see if there was maybe anything that you might be able to do to help them. So what I'm going to look at is I forgot to calculate this. Give me just a second. 26,584 take away 79. 26,584 take away 79.75. So a 30% margin on this is going to be $18,609. So when you say, hey, we just wanted to see, if there was maybe anything you could do, but yeah, hey guys, I'm Jason, I'm the manager. Hey, I really appreciate you having us out. And at least giving us the opportunity to get in front of you. We really do appreciate it. I hope, he's been great. I'm going to mention you by name, and that you guys, and they're typically going to praise you. Let me ask you guys a question. If we were able to earn your business, would you guys be willing to go online and give us a 5-star Google review for the appointment today, and then a follow-up review after the installation? Most people are going to agree to that. And when we get them to agree to that, I want that 5-star review before you leave. Just straight up. Let me just look at something, guys. What product was it again? Give me the product. Okay, and which color? All right, great. We actually have, let me just double check this real quick. We actually, Jerry messed up the other day when he was ordering, and he ordered too much material, and I've got quite a bit of overstock in the back that I've got to get rid of. Let me see something here. I might just be able to put some of that towards this. The thing about it is I've got to get this material out. So right now, anyone that calls me, I am offering it to them. So this isn't something that, I can just give you a price that I can hold on, because once the overstock is gone, it's gone. But with the overstock, I could put this into your job. I could actually save you some pretty good amount of money on this, but I would need to know a yes or a no. If you guys want to take advantage of this, though, I can get your whole project done for just $18,609. That's literally going to give you a monthly payment of $246 a month. And I think we can agree you're not going to get a better price than that. You couldn't even get that a price like that from the guys coming through your neighborhood, knocking on your door, praying for business. Let me ask you guys: do you want to go? If you want to take advantage of the overstock while I have it, and you're willing to go ahead and give me a 5-star review, can we go ahead and get your business today? Yeah. Hey, welcome to Capital City Roofing. So that's kind of how we want to go through the close. We're going to start training on this more and more and more. I want you guys to start practicing it. We're going to be going over it. We're going to be role playing it. We're going to go through a lot of different scenarios of everything you guys run into. These are going to be conversations that we start having on a regular basis so that everybody just starts getting better and better and better and better. The thing about sales, all we're ever trying to do, guys, is get one more. We always want one more, but we want to give the customer every single opportunity to buy while we're there. We don't want to leave anything on the table. We're going to sell some high. We're going to sell some in the middle. We're going to sell some low, but we want to try and sell everything. Sell everything to everyone, every time, no matter what.